direction. Just look around and find at least something good. All you need will come to you. I'll never refuse you.
Welcome back to Two Canadians at Kafe Lise, a Vigor podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Dr. Anton, and with me is the other host, DJ Spencer.
Hello.
Hello. This is episode 88, and we're going to be talking about the PC version of Vigor. We did talk about it a little bit before when it first came out, sort of like the preview of it at the time, but now it's been out for a month. This is, of course, it's still early access until they're done with this season. So, but we're a month in. They've done a couple. They just released a second hotfix for it. But really, we're going to be coming at this, kind of from the view of console players going to PC and talking about the differences. Some of the differences about it. Some of this, of course, can change because it's early access. Maybe they'll adjust some stuff after the fact or as we go or as they go. But right now, just to give you an idea of what it's like from our perspectives playing the game on PC. Before we get too far, though, let's please like, share, and subscribe. Subscribe. And comment down below if you like, share, and subscribe. Is it subscribe? It is subscribe. We've done this.
Yep.
This episode's a bit late. We did 2 episodes pretty quickly because we did there was the season 19 preview and then we did the PC one. They were both kind of back to back real quick, and then so we had a couple of episodes that were right close to each other, and then we actually meant to record this one last week, but I had some technical difficulties with OBS and changing buttons around and not paying enough attention when I think I'm hit and record. So we had to delay another week. So we'll be back onto our regular schedule here as we go, somewhat as we go along here. Plus summer's coming, so that could affect our schedule a little bit too. People, heading out of town on weekends, and I get busy with volunteering and such. So we'll do our best though to keep things, somewhat regular as we go. But yeah. So but anyways, PC version of Vigor. It is quite when you're coming from a console background like I am, it is, there's quite a bit to get used to, and it's not that I've haven't played PC games a lot, but first person shooters weren't my thing really on PC. Growing up when I played games on my PC at the time, it was a lot of I guess maybe a little bit of real-time strategy. If it was a first-person shooter, it is probably something like wait, is it really dating myself here? Duke Nukem 3D. Did you ever play Duke Nukem?
Yeah, Duke Nukem, Doom, Quake, all those.
Doom, Quake. So those ones, they were PC games, but they're worlds different from what they're like nowadays, right? So the controls were pretty basic. It was still the WASD for movement, and you had the if you could jump, it was spacebar, but they add more things nowadays, like especially in these games, right? Because there's a lot more inventory management you have to worry about. With this, it's a lot of weapon. You can have multiple weapons, and I guess I can't remember in Doom you did well. You changed out your weapon every time. You didn't have like a bunch of weapons. You'd pick up a new weapon, and that's the weapon you were using. So, not as much to have to worry about in those early first-person shooters. But then I got more into like the role-playing games on PC and that kind of thing. So, when as first-person shooters evolved, that's also about the time that I started playing them more on console. So you get used to always using a controller the whole time, right? With your dual analog sticks and whatnot, and multiple buttons and triggers and shoulder pads and all that. So what I'm just obviously saying is it can be quite a bit to get used to if you're not used to having to hit a whole bunch of different types, a whole bunch of buttons for different things. There is some customization, not a lot. I think that you can customize a few things. I believe when it comes to the PC and controls, but not everything. And there are things I think that possibly both think that are things that it'd be nice to be able to change around a bit. Coming to mind is certain things like when you're in the controls, like when you're like in your shelter, certain keys can change what they do as you're playing. So like in the shelter, you hit tab to get into the menu system, right, with all the different tabs and everything. And I can even bring it up because we have it up here. We can show you things. I'm sure you've seen this before anyways, but we will show some stuff. But you can hit tab to bring up the menu. But then tab afterwards becomes like you don't hit tab to get out of the menu. And which I guess is kind of similar to consoles, that you hit one thing to bring up the menu, and then you can hit the B button back to hit out of the menu. But all your buttons are right at your fingertips. But like on PC, when you hit tab to get to the menu, the main menu, or the menu, you have to hit escape to get out. And escape, I think, is one of the more awkward things. And escape's used to exit a lot out of quite a few things.
Although anything that's basically brings up a pop-up type thing, it closes.
Right. Yeah. So like if you're looting, if you in the middle of looting and you need to escape or to exit out of it, then you have to hit escape, and that can be really awkward. Especially like if you're panicked or you're in the middle of something, and then say you hear someone coming up quickly behind you or near you. It's like, oh crap, I got to get out of this so I can get ready just in case I have to fight or something. You have to hit escape, and that can you're taking your hands or pretend off the main controls, right, and to hit that escape button. So that one would be nice to be able to remap to something else, and it's hard to know what you would remap it to, but if you had the ability to change it, it could make a difference. Are there any other controls that you feel that would be that you find a little awkward?
That's my core one. That's probably my biggest beef right now. Everything else that I want remapped, I'm able to.
Okay.
That's all the core functionality. I think they added one for inventory, like either the first hotfix or the second one. No, I think it was the first one. And then that one, I think I remapped it to like cap locks or something, or it's something on my left hand side of the WSAD. Because like it's on, I think it's defaulted to like I, and I'm like, I is literally like, a right-handed key on the keyboard. So it's like, yeah, that's not going to work.
It's far away. Yeah, it is. It's an awkward one.
So,
that makes sense. That's a good one to remap. And some of this can, of course, be mitigated if you're using a gaming mouse, right? If you have one that has multiple keys that you can program. So some of that can be changed around. I think I might even have inventory mapped on one of my mouse keys. I'm not 100% sure. I did map a few things to my mouse to try to help me with having to do things quickly. Like there's for sure I have like the first 4 buttons for the weapons on my mouse, right? So 1 through 4. So you can bring up whatever weapon you want, and that's kind of nice because I do find that a lot more convenient than having to use the radial system. And what I mean at the radial menu. But you still have to kind of use that system, I think, for consumables, because
you got to press and hold
Consumable Wheel.
I think it is.
Yeah, it is.
I don't. Go ahead. Finish.
Oh no, I was just saying because with consumables, it can get as big as as you want based on what you pick up or what you take in. So you could have 10 different consumables potentially, right? So yeah, again, it's hard to like, oh, this is going to be keys 5 through whatever, because there's more
Yeah.
consumables potentially than there are keys.
Yeah, the thing I was gonna get at is like, so for the weapon wheel, it's like I don't even go into that menu because I'll
Oh,
use the scroll mouse or the scroller on the mouse. And like to be honest, it's like I rarely swap weapons. Like if I'm I think it's Q goes to last weapon. So it's like I'll literally like swap weapons that way. It's like if I'm looting something another weapon, it's like I'm not gonna odds are I'm not gonna use it. So if I
yeah.
have 2 weapons or that I'm gonna use, it's because 'cause I'm bringing them in and I have intent to actually use them, like, go to Fail Canton or a sniper map, it's like I have a close range and a long
Mhm.
range, and I'll use Q to, like, swap out. Um, and when it comes to, like, the consumable wheel, like, it works well with console, but, like, I honestly think it needs to be reworked for PC because, like, it is not that great. It's not
Right.
a great, feeling, to use, like, you have to press, like, the E button, I think it is, and then,
Yeah.
like, you're moving your mouse around, and it's like, it's not a good UI. Like, it feels like a console game that was ported over to PC, which is
Yeah.
funny because, like, I remember talking to Dizzy online about, like, Enlisted, and that was the other way around, where it was a PC game that got ported to, um, console, and, like, the UI you could tell is, like, a PC game that got ported to a console game, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so it's like that's one thing that needs to be in my mind like reworked is like the consumable wheel and like
Yeah.
you could say the weapon wheel as well. Um, but like for
The
the
weapon
most thing, well, no, it's a like
the weapon one
it's
isn't so bad though because it's 1 through 4, right? Like
yeah.
it's only you can only ever have 4 weapons the way
Yeah,
it's
you
set up.
could yeah,
Yeah.
you could have hotkeys and stuff like that where it's
Yeah.
like you said, 1, 2, 3, 4. But like and again, I'm gonna say like the majority of people who go in, uh, unless you're doing a zero to hero, they're gonna have like their primary weapon that they're gonna use, and they're probably not gonna use anything else
True.
aside for consumables. And when it comes to like back to like the mouse, um like I have a Logitech G502, I think it's called.
Yeah, I think
And
mine's
it's
like a
like
400 or
I
something, I don't know.
yeah, I have like two buttons on my thumb basically.
Yeah.
They're linked to my shoulder swap and going prone or crouch. And I think those are like core movements that like I still want to be focused, like with my left hand going like forward, backwards, left, right. And then those ones, I could do the movement with the thumb and then I could still like aim and shoot um with with the rest of my hand, my right hand type thing.
Yeah.
Um
Yeah.
so
Yeah, mine, I was just looking, it's a 600, a G600, and it has the, little grid of, 12 keys, where your thumb is, and which isn't it can be a little awkward, right? Because obviously the ones that there's like the first 6 are a little easier because that's naturally where your thumb my thumb kind of rests. So it's easy to get those first 6 buttons. But then if I have to get the last 6, I'm backing my thumb up. It can be a little awkward. But
mhm.
I do same kind of thing. It was like, yeah, I have obviously the 1 through 4 is mapped there. I have crouch and I have weapon swap. I don't no, I don't have weapon swap on the mouse because weapon swap I think is just you just hit Q and it'll swap between the last 2 weapons, so that's not so bad.
Yeah, I
Then
wouldn't
weapon put away
use
is the one I have mapped.
yeah, Q is easy. Like that's why I wouldn't
Yeah.
do the weapon swap, but like
Yeah.
when it comes to like prone, like crouch and prone, I think it's by default is alt, I think it is. It's been a while. So I think it's alt. And I'm like, that's not a good one. Because it's kind of like far and awkward, because it's next to the space bar.
Yeah.
And then the other one is like control, I think it was for the shoulder swap. Again, like I could be misremembering. It's been like
No,
a month
no,
almost.
control is to crouch. Control's crouch. Shift is to run. Alt I think was put your weapon away.
but either way, like
Yeah.
it's like they weren't. It wasn't a smooth like movement type thing for like
Yeah.
something that is like PC players may not who are used to like a first person shooter and not used to a third person shooter. Like shoulder swapping is very important in
Yes.
Vigor. And the same as like crouching and going prone and whatnot, to kind of like dodge uh bullets and whatnot, and take cover. So that's kind of why, like, for me it's like that's why I moved those to the mouse. um
Yep.
so
No, that's fair. What might could be interesting, like because you're mentioning enlisted. I was also thinking DayZ as well because you can tell DayZ is very much a PC game that was ported to console because when you use the console version, it's kind of a little clunky and awkward. Um, and I was just thinking like using like I don't know what you call it, like a hotkey, but or like an alternate key, like you like reusing Alt and then the number keys for consumables. So like that, I don't know if that would work great, but if you're holding down Alt, then 1 through 10 could be your consumables. I don't
no
know.
no you no no you don't
Yeah.
you'd have to limit it where it's like literally like there's four where it's like your four favorite ones or your four primary consumables, and it's like that's it. Like otherwise use a weapon wheel or whatever other thing they could potentially come up with, because it's too cumbersome. Like you're not going to hold Alt and go all the way up to 9 type thing. Like then you're like
Um,
you basically have to use
no.
two hands. Like that's the thing, and you
Well,
can't
no, yeah, yeah. But
unless you do the combo keys. But then like even at that, like
yeah.
that's
But I'm
pretty.
also thinking really like the ones you want quick, like available to you quickly, are typically heals and maybe like grenades, right? You want to have like a couple heals and maybe a couple grenades. Those are the kind of things that you want to be able to quickly grab and use. Anything else are ones that it could be something where it takes a little bit longer to do, like using a port, using putting up a transmitter or a jammer or a whatever, right? So in those kind of cases, it could be something where it's a combination to pick it or something and then and use it. Because yeah, because even like using it is like right now it's still the wheel. Use the wheel, you select it, then you got to use the mouse key to use it, right? The
Mhm.
right mouse key becomes or left mouse key becomes the one that
The action.
enacts it or whatever, right? The action to do it. So yeah, that can be a little really awkward. Um, but yeah, if you had the same kind of thing like you do with the guns, where you have your main four things that you want to be able to do quickly, right? You set your four things, and having even the ability in game to do it, like say go into your inventory and choose which four are your hotkeyed ones, right?
Mhm.
Um, that could be handy, and then anything else that you don't need to have it at a moment's notice. Have it as a go into your inventory and select it, and then use it. Right? Bring up inventory, select it, use it, kind of thing.
I'd rather use the web or the consumable wheel at that point. But um like
I know, but
honestly, like even the stuff that like you want to use quickly, it's like I'm pretty sure if you just tap E, which is like the consumable wheel, it will equip the last one that you
it's
use. So
well, sure. It'll
it like
it'll use the last thing over and over. Sure, that's one thing, right? I'm
yeah.
just trying to think of things that if you had like
Mhm.
a certain hotkeys that are easy to
Yeah.
reach and use during a fight. I'm typically thinking it's going to be healing and grenades are typically the kind of things that you'd want to have quick access to.
Mhm.
And there's so many different types of healing too, right? Because there's like the temporary painkillers, there's the antibiotics, which slowly gives you health, but then quickly you want to be able to just use the disinfectant, right? So disinfectant and painkillers is something you can. And they all have their own time limits, right? So some
Mhm.
things are quicker to use than others, and I don't think we solved anything, but but the whole consumable thing is a weak point. That's basically all we're saying. Consumables is a weak point right now. It's the wheel and having to use the wheel with the mouse is definitely clunky. Yeah. Other things that we can talk about when it comes to the PC that takes a bit to get used to. That controls is obviously one of the big things. One thing that is nice, and if they can implement it when they go like full access with the PC, and then find a way to implement it with consoles, is the quick play. And I know you said, I think you said to me once before, even possibly when we tried to record this before, in early versions of Vigor, they had a quick play feature for the consoles, but that might have also been before they had a selection of different maps to go to. I don't remember how many maps. There's
no,
like 2 maps for sure at the beginning.
No, there
maybe.
was more. There's like 4 or 5, I think.
Was there 4? Like they had 4 or 5 maps at a time?
Yep.
Oh wow.
Well,
I
what do you
thought-
mean at a time?
Well, what I mean is, because right now on console, there's a selection of 3 different maps that alternate.
Yep.
When I first started playing, it was 2. There was 2, and then they brought in the featured map or whatever. If it was like a new season, they would have the 3rd slot would be something that didn't change. It didn't, alternate. And then they made it so that those 3 slots were all alternating maps.
Yep.
And then they had shootouts and eliminations, right?
Yeah, no, there was, I think at one point every map that was available was posted, and then if I'm not mistaken, like I could be wrong because again, I started in season 3, but
yeah,
I might be misremembering some of the stories that I was told, but like it was just like Quickplay would just send you into whichever one type thing.
like the first map, basically, whatever.
Yep.
Because yeah, and that would still be fine. Like, because if there was 3, if they had the selection of 3 maps, Quick Play could still potentially just take you to the very first map. Like, and then if you want the other maps, then you have to go in and choose them. With PC, I guess they do have some more options where they could make Quick Play keys for all 3 maps if they really wanted to. I don't know what all the different F keys do, if any of them do other stuff in Vigor. So potentially they could have 3 different F keys that did 1 for each map. Console, that'd be harder, but just having a quick play, I think, even for the first map, would be nice on console. That's kind of a nice little thing they got. Let's take a look here. I just want to take a look at the menu here and just see if there's other things that we should mention, because obviously things will change, as I mentioned, this because this is just early access. What else is good to mention here? I think for the most part, it does very much feel, very similar. You get into the main menus, you go along the different pages, and it looks the same as it did on that. That's where tab sort of changes things up, because when you're in the menus, they use Q and E to go among the main categories, and then they use tab for changing tabs within the category. So that takes a little bit to get used to, but it's not too bad. It's not terrible.
Well, on the primary page, like instead, like console, we have 3 encounter maps, and then we have shootout and eliminations. While on PC, like we have just the 1 elimination map with shootout and eliminations. I think if you go to the next tab too after,
I'll bring it up here so people can see as well. So this is what we're looking at. If I hit the next tab where you had the booster tickets, or you meant the next category.
Well, you're in a sub menu, right? Because the general
this is a sub menu.
So the general
Yeah.
store is the first one. Typically on console, there's an actual feature store, which has like
Hmm.
discounts and stuff on like a handful of items. But then you have the general store, which this is standard with everything, um,
Yeah.
with every platform. And then the booster tickets as well, like Doc was saying. Um,
Yeah, the booster tickets, that hasn't really, that's similar to how it is on console too. Um, and right now, they gave you, because at the beginning of this PC thing, they had this was it 10 days of stuff where you would get
daily check-ins.
most daily check-ins, and you get a lot of crowns. They gave you a lot of crowns to play with during early access, so you could try the different things, like getting some boosting some lobbies, getting some different outfits to try out,
Some plans and stuff like that.
getting plans. um Plans, of course, are only as good as you have levels in your crafting table. So if you're grinding and building up your crafting table, then yeah, the plans can really help out. um
Yeah.
but getting like the common plans, which don't usually need a lot of crafting table, especially with the common consumables, are pretty handy.
Yeah, the daily check-ins though is different from like console because you're not going to get like the boatload of crowns that you
No,
are getting here. Because like I think you get two of them that are 2,500 crowns, and then one of 5,000. I could be
it
wrong.
is around
I
there. I think it's
I
close to 10,000 if you saved them all up. Yeah.
well yeah, 25 plus 2,500 plus 2,500 plus 5,000 is
Yeah.
10,000. So
Yeah.
um,
I was just confirming.
but
I wasn't like
like
disputing.
the console version, it's like you get crates and whatnot. It's so, and this is one thing I've noticed, and I don't know if it's actually been communicated well. Uh when this goes full release with the wipe and everything like that, like you're losing all your progress, shelter progress, your inventory, cosmetics, crafting plans, like literally all your crowns. You're losing it all aside from what is in the reinforcement pack. You're going to get that all back, but
Yep.
like your daily check-ins is not going to have. I'm pretty sure your daily check-ins is not going to have the boatload of crowns. And some people I've seen on stream that like they're new to Vigor because it's PC. Uh, I'm like, yeah, you're not going to get all those crowns most likely uh when the full release comes. Like, so
Yeah.
just keep that in mind, because I know people are boosting like mad type thing, which is cool, but at the end
Yeah.
of the day,
And it's good to get to see what it's like, even though maybe you won't have that kind of crowns ever again. Who knows? Or maybe when it goes full
yeah,
release, all depends on if you're going to buy crowns or not, if you're just going to farm crowns through the in-game
yeah,
methods, right?
yeah.
Um, yeah, because yeah, when it goes full play, I imagine it's going to be just like it is on console. So the only way to get daily check-ins on the console is if you go through the the intro where you learn to play the game. At the end of that, they take you to your shelter, and then that's sort of where the whole daily check-in thing comes in for console. You get like, I think it's still the same 10 days worth of stuff. And it's a little bit of, it's a combination of stuff. It's usually some lower level crates. There are some weapons in there. I don't know if there's much for crowns at all. If there are crowns, it's not a lot of crowns. I can't remember. I just did it recently too, and it's like gone. I don't remember. But it's kind of, the kind of thing that's standard. Okay, here's just some stuff to get started with, some resource, some crates will have some resources and parts and that kind of thing. um
Yep.
but pretty much anything else is going to be a grind, right? And some weapons, because you definitely need to start with some weapons in this game. Though it doesn't take too long to start getting some stuff, especially if you're careful and try to exit out with anything you find, instead of trying to
Mhm,
get into too many fights at first, if that's what you're trying to do. um Battle passes pretty much work the same way.
mhm.
But because they gave us so many crowns, I just bought my battle passes. Why grind a battle pass when you're just here testing the game out? I just wanted to have everything accessible to me, and there we go. And you get more crowns that way too, because you get like 700 crowns out of the battle pass. You get some tickets out of the battle pass. So, it's but otherwise it's basically the same. Battle pass
Yep.
is the battle pass is a battle pass. And then she still talks to you, so you do all these story challenges, and she talks to you during these still story challenges and tells you about each one as it comes up. But other than that, the daily challenges are kind of the same. That's and that's the same for console too. So it's when you first start out.
So the only thing that's different is they actually got rid of the challenge for playing with a friend.
Right.
That is
Yeah.
a story challenge. So if you hadn't reached that point, you're fine. But if you actually got to the point where that was the challenge, you
You're
are stuck
stuck.
there.
Yeah.
So you
Did
won't be
they
able to progress, and you're not going to be able to unlock the seasonal challenges.
but like when they fixed it, did people who were already there get kind of trapped there, or
No,
is
that's
it
what I
fixed
just
for them?
said.
Oh, okay. I wasn't
You're
100%
not
sure what you meant. Yeah.
they're not able to progress. So
Okay.
they're going to stay there.
Okay. Odd. They couldn't make
So,
it fix that for people. But yeah, because you have to finish all those stories to get to the seasonals, and I haven't even finished the story ones myself, so I haven't gotten that far yet. Building the shelters, so basically, nothing really different here. When it comes to this and console, it's all basically the same. Cosmetics, and some of these when you first start in the game, and it's the same on console, you have to kind of unlock them. Some of these tabs aren't available until you have a way to unlock it, like cosmetics. If you're starting with the green coat and you haven't because we have the reinforcements pack, you get the cosmetics one kind of right away. But like on console, if you're starting from scratch and you don't have anything, it takes a while to unlock the the cosmetics one, because you have to get something. You have to either find or buy something before it unlocks for you. And that's also where you can find stuff like the different gestures you can set. And gestures are T, so basically it's another hey, okay. It's a T, so it's another radial you have to play around with. You have to use T and then choose the gesture. That isn't, I don't think, as big a deal, because typically if people are using gestures, it's usually when they're trolling people anyways. So I don't care if it's awkward.
well, not just that. It's like usually it's the primary one that they have, and they just need to tap the key, right? So
Yeah, you just hit it and it does your first one. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then weapon skins again. I think this must be open because it might be open regardless, because I have the whole customized menu. Do I have any skins? I must have some skins because I unlocked the battle pass. Yeah, there we go.
You probably have some from the reinforcement pack.
That too, and from the battle pass too will be a few. So that's why this one would be open. And titles is titles will be, again, as soon as you get a title, then you'll be able to come in here. And I think some of the early ones don't take too long to get. Like Traveler 1, it's like 5 kilometers in encounters. It doesn't take too long to go 5 kilometers, so you'll get something pretty quickly, and then that'll open up titles. Crates you'll unlock right away too, because you get like as long as you go through the story mode, the training mode, you get a crate right away, and then you'll be able to come here and open it. So I'm not even sure if that one would necessarily be locked, but collectibles might be locked until you find something.
No,
When you first start.
there.
No,
No,
what was it?
like it'll unlock once you like play the X amount of encounters there, like the 3 encounters or whatever it is.
Oh, okay.
It's
there
there.
are there are things that unlock after a certain number of counters. That's true. Yeah, that's right. I forgot. Yeah. Leaderboards. yeah, I think they like definitely you won't see anything until you've played a certain number of encounters.
Yep.
But then yeah, just like anything, some of these you won't see anything until you like if I were try to go over to eliminations, I haven't done any eliminations. I think I've done like a couple shootouts, so apparently it's shown up. So
Yep.
but yeah. Yeah. And then when it comes to your loadout, not much different here other than all the ammo is purple for some reason. I'm sure
That's
they'll fix
by
that.
no, that's
By
by
design?
choice. That's by design. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
They wanted to show that every bullet matters. Something
Every
I don't
bullet
remember.
matters.
Yeah.
Sure, whatever. I guess because
I
Yeah.
disagree with it because like for the longest time we've talked about how like weapon rarity doesn't mean anything, and now literally every bullet is literally the same thing. So by this
'cause it used to
knowledge
be
or whatever,
basically
like by this that means literally every bullet should penetrate like wood or whatever. Like
and they don't. Yeah, they're all
like
different.
a pistol is not going to do that. Like a Suomi is probably not going to like do it.
Yeah.
Like so I don't know. Is it, you know, I'm sure there's going to be feedback at some point, or
Yeah.
there has been feedback, and it's like, um, you know, maybe they'll change it because they're listening.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Because it was kind of before, like it didn't like 100% match the gun because yeah, there's ammo that went across categories of rarity and weapon type because you get the like the ammo for the H bar here. Um yeah, and you know what's really confusing is I'm looking at this, I'm saying okay, like they're not the same symbol, but they're very close. Like the stacks of 40 and the stacks of 30. It's like okay, which one's which? Okay, so this is the 762 by 54, which is using the SVD, SVU, Mosin, and this UK Visa 59 I have equipped here, like this machine gun. And then this is the stacks of 40 of the 5.56 54 NATO, and you know, which is used across a big range of weapons. But if you're not if you're in an encounter, you're not paying quite close attention. You have both types of ammo, and you have guns that use both. You might delete the wrong stack by mistake. Yeah, I did like it better when it was different colors because I always knew H bars and M16s and L85s. It was their ammo type was blue, and you know it is just a little bit easier to tell. And then like the UK Visa 59 and these other ones, their ammo type was purple typically, right? There's there was gray ammo for like as that was largely not only but largely pistol kind of ammo. What was the gray stuff? That went into some SMGs as well because quite often SMGs would use ammo type of pistols or ammo types of ammo, I should say. Pistol type ammo. Man, I can talk. Wow, all over the place. And I think the only gold ammo that existed was just the one for the ADR. The ADR ammo was the
Yep.
only gold ammo. Yeah. Yeah, because the Taiga had purple shotgun ammo.
Yep.
And that was a thing too because that's one shotgun that had its own type of ammo which was differentiated from the other shotgun ammo which was just a single like a common color, a gray color. So yeah, I liked it better when it was different colors for sure. Yeah, the different symbology does help, you know, because you see this other ammo here which currently isn't for a weapon that I'm using now, but that would typically be blue. This one, uh you know, those little things that just help you sort things out by a color in your head, I think a lot quicker than having to take a second to think, okay, what is this? And you know, which goes with what. Yeah. Anyways. All right. Yeah, that would be something that'd be nice if they fixed. Or not fixed, but changed back or something.
Mm.
Um Another thing that I know there's been a lot of discussion about this, and they talked about it on the last dev stream, was because the PC has the current new weapon
Overhaul.
configurations overhaul for how weapons feel and all that and shoot. One of the big changes, and they were talking about it because they really want to differentiate this type of weapon from others, is the change to rifles. And if you haven't, and you've probably seen it, but if you haven't seen it, I'll show you here. I'll go into the shooting range, and you'll see when you bring out a rifle, and that's why I equipped the H bar here. When you equip a rifle, and you just using it as trying to use it as like a machine gun or whatever, because some of these rifles have full auto. Well, that's if you're on scope, but if you're not on scope, you've got no crosshairs. So you're pretty much hoping that you're aiming pretty much center. If you're playing on a TV or a monitor that has a crosshair feature, that can help, but it's still for the most part, most people, you're not going to have anything. You're just going to have to shoot and hope that you're somewhat on center. And it's because they for them, they're saying that a rifle is really meant to be used with its scope, right? So they want you to, that's when you really get the scope, you get whatever that scope has for crosshair or for sights, right? And then hold shift or press shift or hold, depending on how you have it set up, to hold your breath, and then that kind of thing. So that's I think that's the biggest thing. Obviously there's all the game gunplay that's going to be pretty major, and it'd be nice when console gets that. But this, I think, is probably the most significant and most probably talked about, I think. Unless you're hearing, you might be hearing different things than I am, but
it might be talked about, but like honestly, the biggest thing is probably the stamina drainage is a lot more than anything.
Oh, is it? I hadn't even noticed that.
And
So is it?
Yeah, and a lot more things affected, like running, jumping will drain it a lot quicker. Like regeneration is not as quick. Depending on what you're using, like it's still gonna like affect it even more. So no, I think that's the biggest thing.
Okay.
I think it's
I
gonna
hadn't even noticed it was it was that huge difference.
it's gonna lead to like a lot slower game pace, but I
Mhm.
kind of think it's more realistic, and then we'll see how it goes type thing. But I've seen some people on both sides of the fence where it's like they're like it's too slow and it drains too quick, and you don't get it back quick enough. And then other people like are like, I like the hit that uh it penalizes people who just run around and want to jump around and be like a
Yeah.
gazelle on the Serengeti, or like a rabbit running across open fields or whatever. But
Yeah, when you get these guys hopping
anyways,
around and yeah.
so it's
Uh
like I think that's the biggest thing. Like probably like the biggest thing I've been trying to like wrap my head around is when it comes to like the recoil and um like in the response of like a weapon while you're shooting, because going from a controller on console to like mouse and keyboard, like it is so much easier to control your aim with a mouse and keyboard
yeah.
than a console. So it's like I feel like I'm way more accurate with mouse and keyboard than I would on console. Like I hit like 100-meter snipe with like a VZ58, and I don't think I'd be able to do that with a controller on keyboard, or on controller on Xbox. Like
Yeah.
on like keyboard and mouse, it's like okay, I'll take it. Like it makes sense because I feel like I have better control. So it's like, how do I provide feedback on that, like on how weapons feel? like I could say, hey, the rarity of the weapons like seem to matter, but like again, like I feel like the difference is like myself and the control of the mouse. So
Right. And that's
yeah.
where things, when you started getting into crossplay, is going to make a huge difference, like a huge thing. Like when you have PCs and consoles in the same server or games.
Um
Oof.
I
I know you can turn that
if
off. In theory, that's what they're saying.
yeah, but even with that crossplay with PC, like if it's done right, where like aim assist is like strong but like not too strong, like it shouldn't matter. Um, but yeah, I like if I'm on Xbox, I'm turning off crossplay. Like I'll play with like
Yeah.
consoles. I'd prefer to just play with against Xbox lobbies, but that's just me.
And I'm willing to give it a try. Like I'll see what it's like. I know it's going to annoy me as hell, and I'll probably turn it off. But I gotta, when it becomes available, I gotta try it. So, and then at least so we can even talk about it here, right? And see what fact finding missions. We'll do the hard investigations. But yeah, no, I'm really interested in seeing what that's going to be like when they release it, and what we can do to customize it, like, or for the crossplay. So
Yep.
yeah, because yeah, you're right, it can be like, and again, it's going to be, and it's going to vary, because sometimes it's going to be a matter of a person's setup, right? Like yeah, we've
Yep.
got gaming mouses, and with the gaming mouses you can get really, like, if you want to get really nitpicky about it, like I know with my mouse, and probably yours too, you can have buttons that'll really like hit your, like, fine tune your DPI, right? So that you can like you can get really precise, hit it, and then you're going really slow, and you can hit it, get really precise, or go real fast just with a click of a button. They do have, and with the consoles, they have stuff like that for like how fast you move with the stick, right? But you're never going to be quite the same accuracy as you can be with the mouse. It's just almost like point and click, right? I know I tried to get some snipes in on one match. I was shooting at one guy, and we were both like kind of shooting back and forth at each other, but we were far apart from each other, and I just couldn't get my bullet drop figured out for that particular match. But um, yeah, I think with the aim assist, it might have been on a console, I might have had a better chance, just because I think it gives you a little bit of help when you're trying to do that kind of thing. But yeah, who knows?
Yeah, I'm not sure. That's one thing. Like, too, is like when it like anyone who watches like my channel, or like my YouTube shorts or whatever, like I could snipe. I'd like to think I'm decent or above average, but
Yeah,
like
better than I am, that's for
w-
sure. You're good.
yeah, when it comes to um like PC, it's like I'm having to relearn how to snipe, because it's like I'm not hitting shots that I swear I'd be hitting on console right now. So
Yeah.
it's it's part of the learning curve. It's fine. I'll get there. It's like, is there now bullet drop, or is it just me not actually aiming correctly with the sights now? Like, did the sights change? It's just stuff like that. So
Yep. Yeah. No, for sure. Yeah. Um. Yeah, but I think that's I think that's pretty much it, really. Talking about our experiences going back and forth between the two.
well, I was going to say, like, if you go under profile and show
Okay.
like the different stuff, because there is
Yeah.
a couple things. One thing that's nice is like the reporting thing, where you could actually provide feedback for the game.
Mm, yeah.
And then the one really nice thing is that copy vigor ID, because as people on console would know, there's have been issues, and you have to provide your vigor ID, or even like when they do like a survey, they ask for your vigor ID.
Yeah.
And like, let's admit it, it's hard to see that long GUID on the bottom
Yeah.
left,
Like at the
and
bottom corner here. Yeah.
like here it's like boom, all you do is click on
Copy.
it, and then it goes to your clipboard on PC. Honestly, what I'm thinking is I would love to see that added to the console version, and then just have it like as a pop up, and then have it visible, and it's like someone could screenshot it easily instead of like getting that crazy number. But
It is really small. Yeah, having a way to make it more pronounced for sure would make a big difference.
yeah,
Yeah, because
and then
if you're trying to copy that down, forget it.
Yep. And then you have your typical different graphic settings and stuff like that. That's a big thing
Yeah.
too. Um, uh, and then same thing with the audio. So the one thing, this is one thing that really bugs me about the port itself is um so typically when we navigate on console, right, we're using like the joysticks and like the bumpers to go left, right, and there's always like a little like click click type thing when you scroll or whatever. But when
Right.
you're doing this with a mouse, it gets super annoying and you can't disable that. Like, give me the
Yeah.
functionality to disable that because it's not master volume. It's not like none of those sound effect things. It's none of it. And it drives me nuts because like go over like your inventory, like the weapons in the inventory. It's like it's like no.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Like please do like save my ears. They're old as is. I don't need some like noise pollution. This is just me like griping about stuff, but
No,
yeah,
it's totally legit because it
yeah,
is annoying and there's nothing you can do about it.
yeah. And then yeah, you're on the key bindings. It's like that's an important one. Obviously, it's
Hmm.
different because we can't do that on console. Console, it's like there's ways of doing it. Like Xbox, you have to do it with through the Xbox menu itself.
Yeah.
Dizzy Online has a guide for it, I think.
Yeah,
PlayStation, I
because
think you do the
the
same thing too.
yeah, yeah, because like with what and Dizzy's whole point is with console, if you're a PC player and you're watching this and you're not used to the console, it's like you have to hit the stick buttons to do certain things, and sometimes if you're in a fight or whatever and you press on your as you're moving and running around and you're trying to shoot somebody, if you press on the stick you go into like first person mode when you don't want to be
Yep.
in first person mode, and so he's changed it on his though it messes up other things, right? Because he made it so that on his controller use the D-pad, and instead where we would normally emote or something like that, he used it for his first person mode, and
Yeah, he swapped them,
that's
I think.
he swapped them or whatever, and but then that kind of messes him up when he wants to disarm a bomb, right? Because the disarming of a bomb
Mm.
is using the D-pad, and because you swap
Yep.
those things around, it messes up your controls for disarming a bomb. It's like, oh man.
Oh, you know what? That made me think. Like, I don't think I've tried disarming a bomb
I was just
yet
thinking
on
that
PC.
too. I was like, I don't think I've tried that. I don't even know what you have to do to disarm a bomb. I'm
Oh,
assuming you
you
got
know
to
what,
use
Doc? No.
WASD.
I'm sorry. I'm wrong. It's actually keys on the keyboard. I have done it. Now that I think
Okay.
about it. Yeah, because there was
Yeah.
an I think there was an airdrop that was bugged, and then I
Mm.
did. Yeah,
And is it
I
just the
think it's keys.
WASD or is it something? Yeah.
I think it's more than just that.
Okay.
I could be wrong though.
Hmm. Yeah.
It's been a while. Like it's not often people booby trap. So
Yeah, and I haven't played PC enough to run into a booby trap myself yet. So now I'm thinking maybe I want to booby trap something just to see what it is, what happens.
yep.
Hmm. Cool. Okay. But yeah. So so obviously there are some thing like alter controller vibration. Like what? Um because there is no and aim invert it. I wonder if they haven't fixed that yet because normally like I would be someone who would aim it invert. And so that when I pull back on my mouse, I look up, go for like it's like airplane controls because I started out playing like flight sims and that's what you do. And so when you start getting to things like running around and you were conditioned on flight sims You can't just turn that off. Like, it's been years. I can't turn it off.
You think you know someone, and then you find out they play with an inverted mouse or controller.
I have to. I can't. I
Anyways,
can't. I can't push forward to look down or whatever. I gotta.
but anyways, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like some of these are like different. I think if you have like your controller connected or not, but I haven't actually tried it. And honestly, uh, I'm doing mouse and keyboard if I'm playing Vigor on PC. Like I'm not.
I do.
I'm
I want to
comfortable with
try
like
it
the
once.
shooting and stuff, but
Yeah. Yeah.
I have zero interest playing with the controller on console.
Yeah, and I want to get used to mouse and keyboard as well, but I do want to try it. I think it was Orchid, who I was in her stream once, and she mentioned that when she was trying it with that it feels different. And then maybe that's, I don't know if it's a matter of that being the weaponry work making it feel different, or just overall it feels different compared to playing on a console with a controller. So I do want to try it just to see if I notice that kind of difference or not. But no, I don't want to main it. I want to main keyboard and mouse when I'm playing on PC because that's, to get used to that experience, for sure.
Yep.
Oh, and here's like sprint, toggle, aim, button, hold. That's where you can change those. Yeah. They have their guide, which the console has that too. And then
Yep.
eventually, it's because I haven't played today. I haven't played with anybody, but this is where you would see people who you're last in a match with.
Yep.
And they don't have reporting yet, do they? On a report system yet on PC?
Should
I'm not
be
sure.
all the same. It should all be
Is it
the
all the
same.
same?
It should be.
Okay, yeah. It says the report system is unavailable to you play another match, so that makes sense. If I go into a match and come out, then in theory I could potentially report somebody. If I haven't felt the need to have to report anybody, so
No.
I never really report people on PC either, or on consoles. Like, I think on the very rare occasion I might have once or twice where I felt that somebody was just way out of line or something, but otherwise, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah.
But I would report all teamers. Report all teamers, and it's like because it is a big issue right now apparently
Yeah.
on PC, and it's like just they're all shit. Like they're literally shit. Like
Yeah.
come on. Like I know you can't play with friends right now, but it's like come on. It's a solo game right now. It's like just play it. It's or don't play at all. Like
It'll just be a couple more months or so, approximately, and then when the full version does come out, they'll have the duos and the trios. So just treat it like it is right now. It's kind of it's a early access. It's kind of a beta test to look for issues and just to get used to the game a little bit. So just go with that kind of mentality as you're going into the game, because having the best kill streak right now doesn't matter because it's going to get wiped. So
yep.
be better. Anyways, yeah, there we go. I think that's good. Yeah, that's our thoughts on the differences between console and the current PC version. Some thoughts of what could be done a little better, a little differently. So we'll see when they go full release, if there's any differences. Of course we'll cover that as well. What do we notice has changed between now and then? So yeah. All right. Yeah, there we go. Thanks again for coming out and hanging out with us. And then we'll try to get back onto the 2-week schedule approximately again. Get back into the regular motions and cover things as they go, and then talk about some new subjects. We'll bring out some new content for you. Please like, share, and subscribe. Leave a message below. Let us know what you're thinking. If you're like a console and a PC player, is there anything that we didn't talk about that you thought could be brought up as well, that we'd like to hear about it? And I know a lot of people have been also, if you go to their Discords, there are quite a few people in there talking about the game, reporting stuff like little weird issues and that's how they're when you get these hot fixes that they're doing fairly regularly now. They've done 2 now in a month, so it's they're building up a bunch of things to fix and releasing them in a bigger patch, which is good. You don't want them like releasing a patch every other day. Let them build up a few things, and sometimes it takes a while to
Well,
just
it's
because
a
you
lot.
report something, they have to be able to recreate it.
It's a lot easier to push updates though on a PC game on Steam than it is on a console. So
This is true. Yeah, that's true. When a console is a bit more of an issue, that's why you don't get quite as many updates in a season. If you're lucky, you get 2. So, all right. So as always, I'm Dr. Anton.
I'm DJ Spencer.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay safe in the Outlands. Have a great night. Bye.
I've heard you say you lost your way again. You don't see your reflection. Just look around and find it. There's something good. All you need will come to you. I'll never refuse you. Take whatever you want, so just get a hold. I know you'll find your way. No need to go the same. Grab your chance and flame up your dream. I know you'll find your way. You must be calm anyway. Grab your chance and flame up your dream. Flame up your dream. It's time to leave the place where you are forced to fade away. You barely breathe, heart is breaking in the chest. I'll make you feel that it's not real. Your thoughts because of which you barely live. I'll never refuse you. Take whatever you want, so just get a hold. I know you'll find your way. No need to go the same. Grab your chance and flame up your dream. I know you'll find your way. You must be calm anyway. Grab your chance and flame up your dream. Flame up your I know you'll find your way. No need to go the same. Grab your chance and flame up your up your chest and flame up your dream, flame up your